Let's begin winding up for the day. And Kunal, of course, we'll see you again tomorrow morning. Let me hand it over to Ashesha for the closing trades.
Turned out to be a choppy session on Dalal Street. We did try to recover from opening lows, but we gave up much of that recovery. Nifty is ending 120 points lower for the day, near that 25,840 mark. In fact, at one point in time, we slipped below that 25,800 mark, but we are trying to manage and close near that 25,850. Nifty Bank, although as compared to Nifty, was outperforming in trade, but despite that, that one is also ending in the red, 59 to 20 thereabouts. In terms of individual sectors, Nifty IT was impacted in trade today. In fact, that was the biggest sectoral loser. Nifty IT index ending 1.5% lower. The likes of Coforge, that one in fact was down nearly 3 to 4% in trade today. The biggest loser on the Nifty IT index, 4.5% gone on that counter. Persistent Systems, Wipro, Emphasis were also some of the other losers from the Nifty IT pack. So this sector clearly was weighing heavy on the market. 0.6% lower for Persistent. Infosys was also down more than 0.5%. In terms of other individual stocks, tire counters, remember, were buzzing in trade. Something like an Apollo Tires was up 1.5%. That should come up for you on your screens. In an otherwise tepid market, that one is ending the day with an uptick of 1%. Oberoi Realty, BHCL and ICICI Prudential were some of the other gainers in an otherwise weak market setup. Oberoi Realty ending 1% higher in trade. ICICI Prudential up 1.5%. In terms of other newsmakers, we had Physics Wala that reported very strong set of numbers for the quarter gone by. That should come up for you on your screens. That one also was trading with some amount of gains. Physics Wala is the stock that we are talking about, although it gave up all of those gains, 2.5% lower on that counter. Fujiyama Power Systems, again, very strong set of numbers. EBITDA margins expanded, revenues rose, and we also had EBITDA and profit that doubled on a year-on-year basis. Fujiyama up more than 1%. All of these rice stocks were in focus today on the back of US President Donald Trump's commentary, which said that they are looking to increase tariffs on import of rice from India. So LT Foods down 1%. We had KRBL. This stock, of course, recovered sharply from the lowest point of the day, ending 3% higher in trade. We also had Interglobe Aviation, which continued to remain in focus for the third consecutive day on the back of disruption. But now, of course, the management has clarified that all these operations have now stabilized. So yes, all of these individual stocks were in focus today. On the index level, Nifty ending near that 25,850 mark. But let's see how it goes tomorrow. Harsh, back to you in the studio.
Well, thank you so much for that, Ashesha. That's a roundup of the market today. Kunal, what do you make of today's move? Of course, from the lows of the day, we've made a decent uptick. So, I mean, would you look at the glass half full, half empty?
See, if you start off the day at 10 o'clock or 10:30, then yes, it's a very good day. Because then you see a 250-point recovery for the Nifty and almost like a 400-point recovery for the Bank Nifty. So it depends on where you started off. But I think, yeah, to end the day, so the hallmark for the day is not the intraday recovery for the Nifty. I think it's with the market breadth. We started off with almost 1:7 in the way advance declines, and to close in the favor of advances by almost 2:1. I think that's the hallmark of the day, and that tells you that maybe the most part of the capitulative selling from the mid cap and the small caps, I think that could now be behind. Assuming that if the news flow over the next couple of days, that is Fed, if that doesn't to be on the negative side, then we may actually see much more better market breadth opening up, because most of the selling the last 3-4 days could be behind us. That panic selling is over, the weaker hands are out, and there could be a sign that maybe the stability would come back into the mid caps and small caps.
And is the hint, Kunal, in the names or the quality of names which have moved up within mid caps, like we were just discussing, RVNL, Delivery, PG Electroplast, Keynes, the most beaten down of the lot has moved up today?
Yeah, so that's exactly what happens, Aisha. In a zone where the markets go into a capitulative selling, there is a class of stocks which goes into a, if I can use that word, thrashing, which they get into. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, that the price correction stalls for these stocks and they come back into resurrective mode. Volume starts to increase up higher. The stability is far more better. Traders anticipate that these stocks will go into a correction, but the correction doesn't happen for these names. My sense is that if, as I said, that the news flow is not very negative, the index sustains over the next maybe couple of days or the next 1 or 2 weeks, then you might see the texture of the market and especially these kind of stocks improving significantly.
Okay, and viewers, with that, we're out of time for today. This is closing trades, of course. Kunal, thank you so much for coming in and giving us all of those views. And it's a goodbye from Aisha, myself, and everyone who puts this show together. Thanks so much for watching.